Welcome to Coffee and Conversations, mini episodes by victims and villains. On this episode, we are talking about the latest DC animated movie, which thrusts the flashback to World War II times. We're talking Justice Society, World War II. Well, this is the latest release from them, and this is a interesting film because it's set in the continuity of Superman Man of Tomorrow, which if you guys haven't seen is now streaming on HBO Max. But let's just jump right into it. How did you feel about this movie coming out of it and kind of its ties to Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I felt like it was a good step in the right direction, in a different direction with a new movie universe, I guess. And I really enjoyed it a lot. It was well written, and it was fun, and it was a good, an hour, 20 minutes or so, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have to say that the connection to Man of Tomorrow really took me off guard. I was not expecting that. I knew that they were going to be building a new universe, but I really did not think that this was going to be involved into it. I really thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought the writing really was excellent. Some of the humor that is kind of woven throughout the course of it really caught me off guard, and I was like, man, it's really smart. They have some really meta humor in here that's really, really good as well. But yeah, the Man of Tomorrow stuff really kind of caught me off guard, but I enjoy the way that they're taking their time to really build up this universe, where this is now a universe where, as of the main population, only Superman is known.
Yeah, I really like that because, previously, they were doing the movieverse of, New 52, I guess you could say. And I like that they're doing a new one and kind of connecting things. And when it started off with Superman from Man of Tomorrow, then, him and Flash meeting, I'm glad that they centered something around Flash, because I feel like if you're doing a new connected universe, you need the Flash involved somehow. And it was really cool to finally see someone, because I know in Man of Tomorrow they briefly mentioned Batman one or two times, and so now you're seeing all these heroes, you see Flash mentioned, and now and of course bringing in a different worlds and stuff too. It's just really cool. To me to see it.
Well, so having a Flash-centric universe, I guess we'll go ahead and with that get into spoilers. That was kind of one of my biggest gripes with this movie, was how quickly they were willing to jump into that Flashpoint-esque to kind of tie these two worlds together. I enjoy the fact that they sent him back completely accidentally, and there are moments throughout the film where the Flash is learning from Jay Garrick, and he's like, oh, I didn't know I could do this, when they get captured by Aquaman. Also another gripe, we'll talk about it here in a few minutes, but he was able to vibrate through the floor to eventually kind of get them out, which was nice. It was cool to see, but again, we are, 7 years. You look at what we were able to do in 2013's Flashpoint till last year's Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which was such a amazing cap end to both of those era of comics and storytelling, and then to kind of take that approach back into this sort of storytelling kind of really, really bothered me, that they just couldn't just let a story be told for the Justice Society, because now you also have the Stargirl series that has kind of put these guys into the mainstream, not just comic fans, but to the those that have HBO Max and follow the CW series. You totally could have let this have just been a Justice Society story. It felt really shoehorned to kind of get the Flash in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they really want to do the whole travel back in time thing. So Flash is like the golden character for that. But yeah, I think a standalone like Justice Society movie would have been better just because of what you mentioned of it like finally being out in the mainstream now. It's like it'd been kind of cool if like you had Stargirl 2, and then the Flash did something in the current world that sent her back in time. That'd been kind of cool, something like that. But yeah, man, I get what you mean there.
Also, as Richard Donner has proven, the Flash is not the only one in DC's canon that can turn back time. So we totally could have had a Supergirl or a Superman. Like, I would have rather have taken the Man of Tomorrow connection and had Superman travel back in time, discover all of these heroes, and then have to help them, and then get shifted back into present day, and then start to say, you know what, I think we need to kind of start to assemble a team. And then you start to have a Flash solo movie, a Batman solo movie, just different, these characters that you're eventually going to be building up to the Justice League. But to me, adding Barry, it just kind of felt really tiresome and predictable.
Yeah, I can see that. To me, it was kind of one of those days where, I don't know, like, I feel like they went to the well with something that they know they can do, but at the same time, I feel like they did it really well, and I think a lot of people will, like, see that and be attracted to it more. But yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I thought it was really well written, but it's just, I don't know, like, I feel like there's so many stories of Flash being the center guy of time travel. I would have liked seeing something different, like you had mentioned. They could have done something completely different.
Yeah, and to your point also, not to say that this movie is terrible. There is a moment that when Wonder Woman's like, all right, so what do we call you? And he's like, well, I'm Flash. And he's like, oh, no, we already have one of those. You have to kind of pick another name. Like, again, you take modern characters that a lot of people already know because of the DCEU, because of Snyder Cut, and you really kind of bring them into their own. It's kind of almost like presenting the Justice Society with kid gloves on, instead of rather letting Hourman, Black Canary, Jay Garrick, Hawkman, or Wonder Woman really stand out and kind of have their moment. It has to be tied to something familiar, and that really bugged me.
Yeah, I would have loved to see more of those characters, especially Hourman. I thought, because I didn't really know a lot of the Justice Society characters until the show Stargirl, and I would have loved to see more of Hourman and what they had. I would like to see more Justice Society characters in general. So I hope that that's like a step to that. But yeah, man, I'm with you on that.
So Barry gets into World War II time, and he stumbles upon the Justice Society, and the Justice Society doesn't really take any credit for anything. Like, there's a reporter, quote unquote, that they call Shakespeare throughout it. It's revealed that this is a alternate version of Superman, and they don't take credit for anything, which I their humility was something that was really commendable. How did you feel about the twist with Shakespeare being Superman?
When they introduced him, I had like a Wonder Woman, the first movie, live action movie like vibe. Like, he was either going to be a villain or be a superhero and so, like, be somebody. So I was already anticipating to be revealed as somebody, but I thought it was pretty cool. Like, when they first went to that castle to get Dr. Fate, and that guy like had the backpack and was like, don't let him become this, and you can see the Superman emblem in the little hole, the little backpack.
Yeah.
That was cool. Like, because like at first I was kind of confused at the point of like, is this the past or is this a different world? And then when it finally introduced that dude was Clark Kent, I was like, oh, okay, it's a different world. Finally, okay, cool.
Yeah, I really like how they address the multiverse so upfront about it in this movie, whereas you kind of didn't. Of the last universe that they didn't really acknowledge the multiverse until the very last film. So this one, they're definitely starting to kind of plant seeds, and they're definitely feels like they're moving kind of like towards like phase 1 of the MCU, where you're getting Iron Man, you're getting that like little exchange from General Ross and Tony Stark at the end of the Incredible Hulk. You're getting Captain America. You're getting, because there was almost a piece of me that was half expecting Wonder Woman to go back forward in time with the Flash to kind of be this universe's Wonder Woman. It kind of took me off guard that it wasn't, but again, that they didn't. But I digress, because again, looking at this movie for what it is, I thought it was really interesting the way that they introduced the multiverse only into their second film.
Yeah, man, starting it off with a bang, like, let's go ahead and get into it. I like that, because now that opens up possibilities for other things, and we could get a Justice Society movie that's either follows that, or it could be later in the future. And it could get other teams. I mean, heck, dude, this could give us a Legion superhero movie. He gave us so much, because I know, like, sometimes they don't really announce what they got planned until like a little bit before they're gonna like release a trailer or something. So there's no telling what they got pulled up for it. And I think it was cool to just like go ahead and get it out there. But hey, look, we got multiple Earths. This is how it's going to be. And I know, like, it's been rumored that the Long Halloween will be in this universe too. And from the trailer, it looks like it is like following that continuity of this movie and then tomorrow, just the trailer and how everything looks.
Which, if that's the case, Long Halloween, what a banger to introduce this universe's Batman, a solid detective noir story. Man, I think for both of us, like, that's one of our favorite stories in the Batman lore canon. But I want to jump into kind of talk about some of the meta humor that is in here. There's a point where Jay Garrick's turns to Barry and he says, if you are from the future, we don't need to complicate the timeline. Which, I don't know about you, but I laughed out loud, because there's so many memes now thanks to the CW Flash show, where if there's something that's messed up in the timeline, it's automatically Barry Allen's fault. And I loved the fact that they acknowledged that head first.
Yeah, I saw a meme today, actually, where it was like, Barry Allen moves a chair, the universe, and it's just like everything just falls apart. But, like, I like that, too, because it kind of kept... there was a couple of different jokes of, like, no, Barry, don't do that. That can mess things up. And, because, like, we all know if there's a ripple in time, it's probably Barry's fault. It's all his fault.
I like how they're embracing that, though. That's kind of one of the reasons that I really enjoyed this movie. The writing, it really stood out to me, because it's slightly meta, but it's also like very intensely smart. And I've gone on record, and I've said this off air and on air, that when it comes to these DC animated movies, when they first started, they were straight up adaptations, and I was here for it. But as they kind of started to try and connect everything, I really kind of was not here for it anymore, because they were taking stories that stood outside of, continuity or Elseworld, and they were forcing them into this MCU factory of continuity, and it just didn't work for me. Look no further than Batman Hush. I mean, Batman Hush, the reason that story is so impactful was because of the emotional foundation of the relationship between Thomas and Bruce. And without that, you lose what makes that story so special. And I will digress, because I can do a whole nother podcast on why the movies aren't actually that great. However, I will say that when they're attempting to do original content that has no connection or no foundation in the print medium, they work really well. So you have films like Justice League Doom that was a standalone story that worked really well. Justice League Dark was a story that was really well. We were just talking about this on Marco Polo the other day. Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. I finally caught up this year, and I was like, it is legitimately one of my favorite animated movies that we've seen. And that's one of the reasons that I really enjoyed this film, was because it doesn't have ties to any of the comics. I mean, yes, you have the characters, but this particular story isn't something that's told. You know, you're not getting into the Aquaman twist with him being brainwashed and using his power to bring war to the lands. You know, you're not seeing that in old Justice Society comics from this time. And that's really why I really enjoyed this film. You want to jump into Aquaman, though?
Yeah, we can jump into Aquaman. Let's hear it.
How did you think? How did you kind of think about the twist with him kind of being an ally and then setting up to be like the main antagonist of this?
Yeah, that was kind of weird, because that definitely had Flashpoint vibes for me too, with like how that was with him and Wonder Woman. So it was kind of it was cool to me to see like Wonder Woman, Aquaman like that, but I don't know. I feel like they could have something different, but it was different. It was new, and I don't think it's like you said. It was something that wasn't in a Justice Society story, so it worked for what they're going for. But I definitely at first didn't really see it coming, and then it kind of happened. But in the end, I liked how everything kind of played out, though.
Yeah, to your point, they definitely recycled the last act of Flashpoint for this movie. I think the thing that helped me kind of swallow that a little bit better than Barry's timeline was the fact that they made him into a Nazi, which was something that I was like, oh. It really caught me off guard. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, but there was that moment where Marvel relaunched Steve Rogers as a young man, Captain America. Falcon had given up the shield again, and Steve was now kind of back in the suit. And the last page of that reboot was Steve in an airplane going, "Hail Hydra." And everyone just lost it. And I remember when they had that twist with him being a Nazi in this film, man, I was just like, bro, like, yes, I'm here for this.
That makes me really want them to do the Superman squashes the Klan movie, like, really badly. After seeing, like, they can do that, like, do some stories like that, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I would 100% be down for that, and given the way that they've set up this new continuity, it definitely would just fit like a glove right into that, and it would just definitely also be timely too. And one of the other things too that I thought was really nice, kind of going back to Barry, was the way that the Justice Society, this idea of a team forming to kind of take down a larger enemy has never been on Barry Allen's mind until he meets the Justice Society. And so the Justice League doesn't exist in his continuity or his universe yet. And so we're getting that. But he also doesn't know what the Speed Force is, which was something that I thought was really interesting to have Barry not know.
Man, I'd love to have a CW series where he didn't know what it is. Good Lord. No, yeah, that was pretty interesting, because it's like Barry's having to learn everything from someone else in a different world, where instead of knowing everything already. So that was a really cool approach, I thought.
And they even established this too very early in the film, because the film, it starts on a prologue in World War II times and then phases into a modern day picnic setting between Barry and Iris. And she talks about how he's been the Flash for a couple years at this point, which I thought was so interesting, because I can't think of any continuity with the Flash where he doesn't actually know what the Speed Force is. Like, to my recollection, like, there's always been a connection to the Speed Force. Even in Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's that scene where he's eating the pizza and he's talking to Bruce about where his powers come from. He's like, I don't really know what it is, but I just call it the Speed Force. And they've explained that, like, even in the CW series, if I remember correctly, like, they also explained that. But this is also the first time that we're kind of seeing Barry have a mentor relationship with someone as well.
Yeah, I swear, if I see one more episode of CW of him getting stuck in the Speed Force, I'm just going to have a breakdown.
This is why I gave up on CW DC shows long ago. That was like, all right, Arrow's ending, I'm out.
Oh man, I try to watch it. I was trying to watch it weekly, but I'm gonna wait till Netflix has them. Batwoman, the new Batwoman season made me just done. Like, I'm still catch on Netflix when it comes up.
Yeah, I agree. I guess let's jump into our mental health moment for this episode, and this is going to be coming from Shakespeare. Shakespeare, throughout the course of this, really has no idea of his identity and his ability to kind of make an impact. And one of the cool things about his relationship with Barry is that Barry's so enthusiastic about him to put on the signature S. And one of the things that I think this film does really well is kind of bringing Clark through the journey of saying, okay, I can't just report about something to make a difference. Like, I have to actually make a difference. And I just want to encourage anyone right now that just encourage other people, because you see the impact that Barry had on Superman to make an impact, and his encouragement created this like ripple effect of impact where the enemy ceased. And I'm not saying that, you know, the person that you're encouraging is going to turn out to be Superman, but just want to encourage you guys to encourage others, because it does have a profound effect on your mental health.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we need each other more than we think. So just, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. This is an old saying, but just encourage and love, and just push people to be the best they can possibly be, because you never know what will be accomplished.
And on that, I just want to encourage anyone that if you're listening to this right now and you are struggling with suicide, addiction, self-harm, or depression, we encourage you guys to not only reach out to us, but also check out our mental health resource library. It's at victimsandvillains.net/hope, where you guys will find resources including the mental health National Suicide Hotline, and also the text line, as well as getting connected with counselors and much, much more, all of which are going to be in the descriptions below. Because at the end of the day, while we love talking about superheroes, we make this content so that you can know that you listening, have value and that you have worth. As of this recording, there are 130 suicides that take place each and every day, and when we scale back to international numbers, there are 800,000 successful suicides. That is one death roughly every 40 seconds. So please, stay with us. Consider our resources. And on that note, it's time for our Rorschach rating scale, sir. Where would Justice Society World War II land for you, 0 to 5?
I give it a solid 4. Not quite a 5, but it was really solid, really good. It's something I'm probably going to watch a couple of times when it gets up on HBO Max. I go a solid 4 for it.
I'm going to go a little bit lower at a 3. Like I said, I really enjoyed this film. The writing's super solid. Humor is really great. And I'm enjoying being the twists and turns of this new universe. But just the ties to Flashpoint and even at some points, like Throne of Atlantis, it just kind of felt a little bit too familiar for me, so I was predicting the film as it was going along. It kind of ruined the experience a little bit. But Justice Society World War II, if you guys have seen it, what did you guys think? Let us know on social media, wherever you guys follow us. We are at Victims and Villains. Tweet to us, DM us on Instagram, comment on any Facebook post. Let us know what you guys thought about Justice Society. Justice Society World War II is available now on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital, wherever you guys get your movies from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment and DC Entertainment. But that's going to do it for us on this episode of Coffee and Conversations. Brandon, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Brandon W. Miller and Instagram at The Changing of Times.
You guys can find me over at Facebook. At Instagram and Letterboxd. I am at Captain Nostalgia on both. You guys can find us everywhere at Victims and Villains. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as well. Or go to victimsandvillains.net, where you guys can find past episodes, movie reviews, and most importantly, our mental health resource library. Have a good one, guys. We're going to go grab some coffee.